The king went looking around for his wife Oko and then met her under a mango tree where she was crying and praying to the gods. The king asked her why she was crying, and she told him that there is nothing else for her to do rather than to cry, since even the gods has abandoned her. The king told her not to worry, that his love for her is more valuable than anything in the world. Once upon a time, in Ite village, there lived a mighty king whose name was Dibia. King Dibia had two beautiful wives whose names were Oko and Udu. The king had married Oko for years, and since she could not bear him children, decided to marry another wife, and so he married Udu. Udu came in and started bearing children for the king, and seeing that Oko was the king's favorite wife, Udu never seized an opportunity to insult Oko for being childless. Each time Oko offered to help Udu care for her children, Udu would get angry and call her barren woman. Udu would go further to say to Oko, "You want me to give you my child to care for? How would you even care for a child, even when you have never had one yourself?" And whenever she made this comment, Oko would cry her eyes out, and the king would console her whilst assuring her that the gods would bless her with her own child one day. In Ite village, every harvest season, families go to the village border and offer sacrifices to their gods, just to thank them for a successful planting season and for all the good things the year had brought to them. The king's family do theirs first, and then every other family followed. One faithful day during this harvest period, the king and his family had gone all the way from their palace to the village border to make their sacrifice. The journey was such a long one, and with him was his wife Oko and Udu, with her children, including the little baby Udu was nursing at that time. As they journeyed ahead, Udu became so tired, and so her co-wife Oko offered to help her carry her little boy. But as always, Udu refused to let Oko relieve her by carrying the child. The king reminded her of the distance they were yet to travel and asked that she let Oko carry the child for a while. Udu insisted and then told the king that she would never allow the barren witch carry her child lest she kill her child. Oko was very sad, and with tears in her eyes, she prayed to the gods to please bless her with her own child. When they got to the sacrifice ground, the king asked that they eat and rest for a while, as the sacrifice would be made in the evening. While they were resting after they had eaten, the king could not find his wife Oko, and so he asked his other wife Udu Oko's whereabouts, and Udu told him that she does not know, as she was not Oko's keeper. The king went looking around for his wife Oko and then met her under a mango tree where she was crying and praying to the gods. The king asked her why she was crying, and she told him that there is nothing else for her to do rather than to cry, since even the gods has abandoned her. The king told her not to worry, that his love for her is more valuable than anything in the world. The king, reassuring her of his love, took her back to the place of sacrifice. During the sacrifice, everyone made their intentions known to the gods. Oko asked for a son and promised to let him serve the gods in return. After they had all made their wishes known to the gods, they all went home. Oko did not stop but prayed every day for a child of her own. And one day, while she was praying, a voice appeared to her saying, "Woman, who are you?" Oko told the voice that she's Oko, the first wife of King Dibia. She pleaded that he should not be angry with her, As she was pouring out her soul before the gods, the voice said to her, "Don't worry, Oko, go in peace, the gods are with you." After a year, Oko's prayer was answered and she bore a son whom she named Chianugo for the king. Oko had waited for long for this child and she loved him so much. As an honest woman, she always had in mind her promise to the gods. When Chinanu got to his late childhood, Oko took him to the place of worship. While they were on their way, Chinanu asked his mother where they were going, and she told him that they were going to fulfill the promise she made to her chi. When they got to the place, they met with a priest who had always assured Oko of having a child. Oko then reminded him how she had visited and cried for the blessing of a child in that place years back. The priest remembered her and told her that she was now looking happy, and Oko told him how her prayer was answered and she now has a son. Oko then told the priest that she had promised to bring her child for the service of the gods if they gave her one, and now she has come to fulfill her promise. The priest told her that her faith in her chi is so deep and that has made a way for her. The priest prayed that the gods will reward and give her more children. Oko left her son with the priest and went home. Chianugo missed his mother a lot at first, but as time went by, he got comfortable living with the priest. The priest assigned sweeping of the compound to Chianugo, and as he continued to sweep the compound, his face shone like the neat ground. Time passed and Oko gave birth to 2 more sons and a daughter, and every year she visited her son Chianugo. He was very happy to have his mom and siblings around each time they visited. One day, while Chianugo was sleeping, he heard a voice call out on him.
Chianugo, Chianugo.
He got up and called on the priest, hoping he called him, but the priest told him that he never called him. He then told him it might be a dream and asked that he pray and go back to sleep. Chianugo said his prayers and went back to sleep, and after a while he heard same voice again. This happened 3 times, and then the last time he told the voice to speak that he's all ears. The voice told him that the gods are angry with the people and calamity was about to befall them. Chianugo hurriedly went and told the priest what the voice had said. It was not long before their neighboring towns came fighting them. They were defeated and their livestock they made away with. Soon their streams dried up and their farm crops dried. The people of Ite started dying slowly, and the villagers decided to go to their place of worship to seek the face of their gods. They went there crying, and when Chianugo met them, he told them not to cry again, but instead pray for their chi to have mercy upon their land. Together with Chianugo, they all made their petitions known to their gods. At this time, the people of Okwa had heard about their gathering and decided it was a good time to attack and kill them all. And ahead, they all marched to Ite village, and on getting to the border, the warriors of Okwa village all died, and the people of Ite rejoiced over their victory. The remaining people of Okwa ran back to their village and conveyed the message to their king, who told them that the gods were probably angry with them for fighting the people of Ite. Ite people continued to pray until their dried up streams and farm crops were restored. King Dibia ruled the people of Ite, and as long as he lived, there was peace in the land. But as soon as he died, the people went back to their old ways, which was not carrying out the harvest sacrifice the right way. After a few years, the people began to feel the void of not having a king, and so they decided to visit Chianugo and solicit for his advice. When they got to him, they told him that the people of Okwa will soon take over their land, since they no longer have a king and they were now weak. and would be conquered by the people of Okwa as they had done to other lands. Chianugo told them that they should leave their wicked ways and focus on their goals, and no harm shall befall them. They insisted on the protection of a king, and then Chianugo reminded them that it was not the king that saved them from the wrath of the Okwa people in the past. And they were all there when they said their prayers. Seeing that Chianugo was not complying to what they were saying, they told him that they would go and appoint a king themselves. And so he told them to go home while he prayed to the gods and get back to them. Chianugo went and prayed to the gods to direct him, as the people were getting weaker by the day and may be right about taking a king. He prayed that they should be shown the right way. The next day, while the people were gathered to hear what he had to say, he told them that their chief said he would appoint a man to rule them. And he shall make great men among them his soldiers and servants, and their daughters would be his wives and maids. He will take over their lands, and he will reduce them to slavery, and there will be no need seeking for help from the gods after that. The Ite people said that they don't mind what they become after the king had been appointed, that all that mattered to them was that they have a king. Chianugo then told them that they shall have a king in 16 market days, and that all the villagers must gather at the village square. After 16 market days, the people of Ite came together at the village square, and Chianugo appointed a king for them. The people were happy to have the protection of a king, and they made sure they didn't leave the gods while serving their king. Chianugo, the son of the woman labeled a witch, now became the mouthpiece of their chi and was respected and celebrated over time.